Okay, Marie, we're recording.
All right. Well, today is a great pleasure. We are introducing new National Executive Director, Brittany Sunday, who's going to be our keynote speaker. Brittany started just a little over a year ago, May 10th, and in just 15 months, let me tell you what she has done. Her career sales already are over $143,000. She has personally recruited almost 60 new consultants. I looked at July recognition. Not only did she promote to National Executive Director, but her organization was like number 33 in the entire company with over 600, almost 700,000 in organizational sales. And she had 59 qualified directors in her organization last month. So year to date, she already has 25 recruits, and not only has she had the skyrocketing business that like I said, put your straps on, we're getting on a roller coaster. And so right now everybody needs to be strapped in, hold on to the handlebars, because I'm going to introduce you to Brittany Sunday, who's going to introduce you to her team, and they are on fire. So take it away, Brittany.
Okay, thank you so much, Marie. As she said, my name is Brittany Sunday, and we officially just promoted to a National Executive Director team. So today we are actually going to come to you to talk about a few things. But first, before we get into that, I want to introduce two of my most amazing directors within our organization, Miss Mikela Wyatt. She is a first gen to me, and you guys, she is just absolutely kills it. She blows me away. As soon as I signed her, she actually signed in October 2019. So what a better month. Like, I mean, the 39th year anniversary this year, her 1 year anniversary, and the 40th anniversary of Pampered Chef. So she quickly promoted from a consultant to an advanced director within her first 30 days. After that, she quickly hit senior director. You guys, she broke the record for executive director in 6 months. She quickly promoted to a senior executive director, and as of September 1st, her and her team will hit a national executive director team in 11 months. Just mind-blowing. So she personally recruits at a high rate every single month, like 7 to 10 new recruits every single month. Every single one of her directors have been green. I believe the past 2 months, or actually every month, every single director is green every single month, which is huge. And her team just absolutely kills it. I love her. I had the pleasure of actually meeting her for the first time in July, but it's like we just felt like we were lifelong friends. So she is amazing. And today she will actually be talking about how to recruit. So strap on your seatbelts, because she is amazing at that. And then next, I'm actually going to go ahead and introduce Miss Kori Ellis. She is another phenomenal leader in our organization. She's also a first gen to me. She joined Pampered Chef years ago and was an in-home consultant. Fast forward to 2020, she joined in the middle of March. And I'm going to tell a little bit about her story, but if she wants to go on and tell more, that's perfectly fine. But she signed up to be a kidnapper. And I let people, if they're going to sign up as a kidnapper, I go ahead and let them. And then you can always offer once you kind of have them hooked, you know. But one thing that I did, and she'll go ahead and tell you a little bit more, you know, I offered all of the fast track rewards and everything to her. But you guys, she is seriously amazing as well. Her and her team have, they went from, you know, her first month, she promoted to a fast track director. Right after that, the next month, it was advanced director. The next month, it was senior director. Now she is in month 2 of qualifying for an executive director team. So they officially hit month 1 last month. And you guys, she's only been in the business for 4 months. So she will officially carry that title for the fastest, you know, executive director team next month, whenever they hit it officially. So you guys, she is just amazing. So she will actually be talking about fast tracking or developing leaders at a fast track pace. So, and I will be going in and telling you guys how to onboard new consultants. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mikela, and she's going to kick us off with recruiting. So go for it, Mikela.
You guys, so I don't know. Okay, good. I can't canceled the spotlight video because it was just me, and I wasn't sure if you guys just wanted to see my face while Brittany was introducing us, so I canceled it. So thank you for whoever put that on me. So my name is Mikela Wyatt, and first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to speak. I know I give it all to Brittany. And how incredible. We have to give thanks to Brittany because not only did she break the record, but she's bringing on all of these leaders who are following in her footsteps. And, I broke her record, and then Kori's going to break my record. And, I have people that want to break Kori's record. And it's just, it stems from such great leadership through Brittany. I mean, she really set the tone for all of us, and we are so lucky to have her. I just adore her, and if there's anyone that you can learn from, learn from Brittany, because she just is the best. So a little bit about me. So I apologize if you hear my baby. So we are adopting a little girl. A little bit about my background. I'll just briefly tell you guys about it. So my husband and I dated for 8 years, and we've been married for 9. And that whole time we tried to have children in our marriage. And because we dated for so long, we knew that we were ready right at the beginning. And people were like, you're so young. Like, why don't you wait? It's like, we've been dating for 8 years. We're ready right now. So through those 9 years, we have struggled with infertility, and we were not able to have children. And so she usually wakes up right now. So you have to excuse me if she starts crying. That's her. So she's going to work with mommy today. So that's what I like to say. So anyway, so I traveled with my husband. He played professional baseball, and so I traveled a lot with him. I was able to kind of be his sidekick, and but through those years of traveling and through those years of infertility, I didn't really have a voice for myself. I did what Brent wanted to do. I worked dead-end jobs here and there just to support ourselves. And I tried all these other MLMs that just never worked. And so when this opportunity came, last year was one of my worst years. I'm a very spiritual person, religious person, and I definitely had Satan working with me and against me. And when this opportunity approached, we had been trying to figure out what we were going to do for IVF, because we couldn't have kids, and the doctors just kept giving, bad news after bad news, and nothing seemed to be working. So they said, your final stop is going to be IVF. And so if any of you guys know, in vitro fertilization is very expensive, especially where we live. We're in Washington State, and I traveled outside of Washington to Oregon, and that's about $30,000. And so at that time, we did not have that money. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were 2 weeks away from refinancing our house so that we could get this loan and start the journey to have children. And I always said that if I could just have children by the age of 32, then I would be successful, because my mom had me at 32 and I was her last. And so I just always had that in my head that I would be successful if I could just have kids at 32. And it definitely, it created a worse environment for me, because guess what? I became 32 and I still didn't have children. And then 8 months later, I still didn't have children. I started this business in October. I turned 32 in July, started this business in October, and that was such a highlight, for me, because I started it really reluctantly. I said no 3 times first, but I saw how awesome Brittany was in her party, and I really wanted to be a part of the games and interact. And I kept asking her, hey, when are you going to post the games? I want to be a part of I want to know the answer. I was at my sister-in-law's house, and when her party was going off, and I was that annoying guest that just kept bugging, my sister-in-law, the host, and then I kept bugging Brittany, and I had no idea who Brittany was, but I wanted to know the answers to those games. And so, Brittany, fast forward, Brittany signed me, and that was awesome. And I built this business pretty fast. And I started in October. I signed 5 people that same week, and just went on after that. And so that was in October, and I still was struggling with infertility. We were just, like I said, the adversary was really playing in my mind, and I just thought, I can't succeed at anything. Like, even though I had this beautiful opportunity in front of me with Pampered Chef, I still couldn't be the number one thing that I wanted to be, and that was a mom. And so 8 months later, in March, we get a phone call that there's this precious little girl that needs an eternal home. And she has definitely changed our life, and we're still going through the adoption process, but we were able to bring her into our home. And it's such a miracle, you guys, how we got her, especially with COVID. And it's definitely a God thing. I don't know if you guys, believe in a higher being, but I do. And she's just a blessing. So anyways, so she is my why. And so because I wasn't able to share her with the world, and because we had to keep her quiet, I think that that's why I have such a strong team, because I was able to share her with my team. They were my only people for, being able to share her with, and share her milestones, and share my milestones as a mom. And so when I bring people on from the very beginning, even before I had her, or we got her, my grandmother was very strict about this, but she knew no stranger. And that is something that I have lived with my whole life, just being able to be approachable and want to, love on people and be genuine with people and authentic. And so I take that with me into my team. When you're recruiting, don't act like they are a stranger. Act like they're your friend, and be genuine, kind, and loving. And so when I approach people, and when I get people to come onto my team, the last thing that I tell them, to every single person, is, hey, I know this is going to be weird, but I'm going to tell you that I love you. And it's because if you're going to be in my life, and I'm going to be in your life, and we are going to feed off of each other, I want you to know that I love you. And I think that when people ask me what my biggest, how I'm so successful in getting people to recruit, is because I do love them, and I do want to help them change their life, because this business has changed mine. We have finally been able to get out of 100% debt besides our school debt. And that is something huge. We are now able to adopt, this little precious little girl, and we are still going to do the IVF process, and we are able to go into that clinic and pay in full to have our children. And there is nothing that drives me more than to be able to have that and help other people do the same, to make their dreams come true. And their dreams a reality. So really, I think the biggest tip for anyone is to get out of your comfort zone so that you can help other people. It's hard when you sign people, because that's their number one fear, is that they're going to be pushy. But until someone tells you that you're pushy, you're not pushy. And I tell my team all the time, I've only had one person that has ever told me that I was pushy in this whole business. And I'm still young at this, I've only been in for 10 months, but that person is on my team now because I was able to get out of my comfort zone, text to her, and then eventually call her and tell her, hey, that is not my intention at all. And now she is changing her life and other lives. And if I wouldn't have gotten out of my comfort zone to go out of my way to call her so that she understood that that's not who I am. I am not a pushy person. Then she wouldn't be on my team and she wouldn't be thriving in life right now. So my number one tip for you guys is to get out of your comfort zone. The sooner you can get out of your comfort zone, the sooner you're going to soar, because you have to understand that you're being selfish by not approaching these people and giving them the opportunity to tell you no. And even when they tell you no, this is what I'm known for, is overcoming objection. I never let anyone say no and just leave it at no. I always come back. I don't say, okay, thank you, have a good day. I mean, obviously you read into it if they're, but I always say, I voice texting this, thank you so much. I totally hear your concerns, but I don't want to drop the ball, but can I ask you, do you have any concerns with hosting or with, building the business? And I can't even tell you how many times I've been able to flip someone from saying a strong no to yes. And how many of my recruits said no many times. One of my good friends, and I would never do this with anyone else, but one of my good friends told me no 10 times to hosting a party, not even building the business. And, as the months went on, I just found different ways of being creative with her, because we have to educate people. They don't understand. They're looking at other MLMs that are driving them nuts, and they, are so annoyed. But what they don't understand is Pampered Chef's been around for 40 years. It's a product that sells itself. And if they really were able to hone in on that and think about that, then maybe they would, flip. And so it's my job, it's our job to educate people, to get them in, just get them in, because we all know that we know better than they do. And once we get them in, then they're in, and then they can see the potential. So find creative ways. My second tip is find systems that work for you. What might work for me might not work for Brittany or Kori or Ellington or whatever. But I've learned that, if I am not being my true, authentic self, then I cannot lead in the way that I want to lead. If I'm feeling like I'm being pushy, or if I'm being, someone that I'm not, or if I can't bring, our Savior or Heavenly Father into my life and in my group's life, then I just can't do it. And so I have found that when I'm recruiting, some people will talk to their host 5 times. Sometimes people, only ask 1. When I try to do the five thing, and I don't know what you guys do, but this is something that worked for me. When I tried to do 5, I felt like I was being pushy. So there's no written rule that, that you have to, you have to ask 5 times. So what I did was I kind of played around with it. I found a system that worked, and my system is asking 3 times, because I will ask in the beginning, trying to, get them to flip their party, because we all know that it's more beneficial that way. And if they say, no, and I'm not, going into an extensive amount of talking to them, I just kind of dangle it there. And if they say no that time, then I go on to the second time in the middle of the week. And I say, hey, you've earned the, kit credit. I think a lot of us do this. They say, hey, I don't know. Whatever. I fill them out. And then at the end, I just say, I tell them my story. And that's when I go into a bigger detail. If I forget to do 3, and I'm going to be honest, sometimes I do forget, we get busy. I was doing 8 to 10 parties a week. Now I'm going down to 3, because I'm trying to train my team, and I'm going NED this month. So I'm getting a little slower. I'll get back up there once I'm there, but it's a high thing to try and strive for. So you got a lot to help your team with. But I think that for me, I I want to be true to myself. And that's how I found that I was true to myself. So if that doesn't work for you, find things that do work for you. Another system that I've put in place is I'm trying to, so this is basically tip number 3. I'm trying to bring people into my business. You know, we know that it's really hard to, you know, be in these parties, and unless someone is, you know, friends with us, then if we message them, it's going to go into a private, you know, inbox. And so what I tried to do is I tried to get people to come to me. And so I created this little thing where in the welcome post where it says, you know, this is how your party will work, you know, welcome to the party. I created a bonus section. So in bold, I put in the middle of my welcome post and to get to know me post, I put in bold bonus. If you read this message, because not only in that welcome post does it, you know, talk about how the party works, it also, you're adding that, hey, if you go to notifications and you go to highlights and you switch the post to see all, then they're seeing all those messages. So I want them to read that. So I said, if you read this message, this welcome post, and you private message me, I will give you 50 tickets towards the grand prize. So private message me so I know where that hidden inbox is, but maybe they don't. So if I were to try and, you know, write them, they wouldn't know where that private message is. But if they write me, then I know where that is. So they're messaging me. And, you know, even if you try and, you know, you come up with something else that works for them to private message you, you're going to create a rapport throughout the party with them. Maybe ask them, you know, where they live or get to know them. Or, you know, I say, thank you so much for messaging me. Your tickets have been applied. If there's anything that I can do for you throughout the week, let me know. So that kind of opens that so that they know if they have a question, they can come to me. So I'm building this rapport throughout the week. And at the end, then I go back to that message and I just say, hey, you are so fun. You know, have you ever thought about hosting a party? I know what MLMs out there are doing, you know, but I really genuinely just would love to pamper you. So I try not to say too much like about them hosting. I try and say my verbiage is, you know, can I pamper you? You know, you and your friends. And that has really helped me with recruiting because we don't want to just recruit our host. We want to try and get our guests too. And so because our guests are awesome people to obviously get to book parties, but also recruit because they need it just as much. So my last tip really quick is to get creative. So with that, with trying to approach your guests to recruit too, you know, there's a lot of opportunities that we can find to get our guests to be interested in the business, not just on our Visly post or whatever, you know, program that you're using, but there's a post that I post every day to my host that they, you know, copy and paste to the parties. And that's that 60, if you could have anything at 60% off, what would it be? And I have so many people that have responded to that I get to, you know, do bookings for me. Because what I'm trying to do is I say, you know, hey, did you know that air fryer or that deluxe cooking blender is actually our host special for this month? Would you ever, you know, just consider hosting a party? It's super easy, blah, 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 blah. I had a downline who, on my team, a team member, I don't like to say downline, but a team member who got even more creative. And some lady said, I would love to have the knife block. I wish I could have the knives and the knife block. I just love them. So Pandora goes and she, you know, talks to her. She private messages her, adds her as a friend and says, you know, hey, I know that this is kind of, you know, out loud and very, you know, upfront, but if you, you know, did you know that if you were to sign up and build this business, you could actually get that knife block for free and those knives. And here are the other things that you could get for free. And guess what? She's signing that person this week. So it's just finding those creative ways to get them to come in and, you know, those systems that work for us. And I think that, you know, these trainings are awesome because then we can get other ideas. And I think that getting out of your comfort zone and asking other people to maybe come and speak for you, or, you know, we learn so much from other people. And when we don't try and hold all of that in for ourselves, you know, we grow and we can, you know, really understand other people and get better ideas. Because, you know, I might have an idea, but you know what? I know that Kori Ellis is the champ on, you know, being creative and techie person, and I'm not that person. So I need a Kori Ellis in my life. So anyways, so I'm gonna stop talking, but I just want to thank you guys for, you know, allowing me to be here. I mean, I have to thank Brittany because she asked. But we have such an amazing organization. I'm so thankful to be on Team Full Throttle and be a part of Ellington and Brittany's team. We just love each other, and that's the best part about this business, is that we just love each other. There's no drama, no chaos. We just, you know, just be genuine in you, and I think that you'll recruit a lot of people that way. So, love you guys.
Thank you so much, Mikela. And I don't know if I can top her training. So you guys, okay, so but one thing that, like what she was saying with recruiting, is being creative, being authentic, and building those relationships. So once you have done all that, then, and you have recruited them, then we move over to onboarding new consultants, right? So, and I'm very passionate about onboarding new consultants, because Ellington, whenever she onboarded me, she did it so amazing, and I wanted to make sure that I was following in her footsteps and doing the same. So whenever you onboard a new consultant right away, you need to be setting up that one-on-one call with them. But let's take it back a step. So say like Mikela, a lot of times, you know, even if the host doesn't flip her party, but she still says that she's going to sign before the end of her party, you know, if it's went over that window where you allow it not to be flipped anymore, I reach out to them and still set up that one-on-one call. And then I'm also telling them right away, I'm giving them the verbiage, and Marie, I will share the verbiage with you, and you can send it, you know, to your, to all your leaders. But it's just very basic verbiage. I send them a couple of different options, and I get them to get bookings right away, even if in the middle of their party, because I don't want to wait until the close of their party and then try to train them. So I'm getting them off to a, you know, kicked off with a good start, a strong start right out the gate. So I'm sending them that verbiage, and I'm also telling them, as I'm setting up that one-on-one call, I'm letting them know about the business opportunity, about with the fast track rewards. I'm letting them know also it's 4 parties a week, no matter what. That's how I was trained. And actually, when Ellington told me 4 parties, I'm a very competitive person. And so I don't like to work at minimum. So I did 6 parties my very first week. And you guys, I thought I had hit the lottery, which I say this, I mean, I made $387 my very first week as a consultant. And that was huge for my family, especially, I mean, being able to stay at home with my girls while doing it instead of getting a job outside the home. So that was very important to me. So like I said, I did the 6 parties. Then I continued to book those 4 parties every single week. And you want to make sure that you are connecting with your new consultant too by setting up their calendar. I'm not a tech person, but like Mikela said, thank goodness for Kori. She's our tech person and we all go to her. But I have a little notebook. I don't have anything fancy. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but this is my little, these are my party schedules. Nothing fancy. So I have my new consultants write out a notebook, you know, like August 7th, August 14th. And I actually have 6 spaces for each of mine. And I tell them to write the 6 spaces too, even though our goal is 4 parties. But if they feel confident enough to run a couple of more, then I encourage them to do that, because it's only going to get them, you know, set up to have more success with the more parties we run. And we all, most of us are using a posting system anyway. So it's, if you're running 4, it's very easy to run 6 too. So after I set up that one-on-one call, like I said, I'm going over the rewards. You're building that relationship with the new consultant too, because it may just be a guest within your party that you really don't know him or her. So you want to build that relationship, ask them their why. And a lot of people, you know, join and they may not join to sell really a whole lot, or maybe they're just going to, you know, be a part-timer, just like a hobby consultant. But a lot of people stay with Pampered Chef because they have built relationships. And that's what, I mean, some of my best friends are Pampered Chef, you know, members. And a lot of them I've never even met. And I just love and adore every single person because they're just like family. And when we onboard and we welcome them to our team pages, we welcome them to the family because, like I said, we are one big family. And when we welcome our new consultants, we add them to every single group. So it can be very overwhelming, and we tell them, listen, I'm going to add you to several groups, but each group is so beneficial. So I still, even though Ellington is our national, I still love and respect her, and I want everyone to be a part of her group. And that's what I love about her. She welcomes everyone. It doesn't have to just be someone in her first to third gen. She has fourth, fifth, sixth gens that are, that she welcomes anyone and everyone. So we welcome them to Team Full Throttle. Team Unstoppable is mine. Team Grit is Mikela's. Team Generous is Kori's. So yes, they're going to get added to several groups, but I think that is so beneficial that you add them to everything. Because the more training they get, the better, they're going to succeed. And you want to make sure that you're checking in with your new consultants as well. So you just don't want to sign up someone and then say, okay, book 4 parties and then, check in with me if you have any questions. Like that's not what you want to do. You want to check in and keep them accountable, see how they're doing. One thing that I think has been very, very great for our org is, and we give all the credit to Ellington because she is a phenomenal leader. We do a new consultant training, and she does that twice a week. She does it once during the week and once on the weekends. And every single new consultant has the opportunity of joining that new consultant training, and they are not recorded. The reason why they're not recorded is because if you set a schedule saying, okay, this call is going to be recorded, you more than likely have some people like, oh, it's going to be recorded, I'll watch it later. So it's not recorded. That way they have to make the commitment to be on that call. And I think that's a really, really smart step. So we have seen an amazing response from that. And so I encourage you to, if you're not already doing a new consultant training, and like I said, we do this over Zoom, so it's everyone, and we get all kinds of leaders on there to support all those new consultants too, because when you onboard a new consultant, they can be very, like they just don't have belief in themselves. And I know that's how I was. Even though Ellington had 100% belief in me, I didn't believe in myself until I started getting comfortable with those parties. And then I thought I was on cloud 9, and I was just having a meeting with her the other day, and I was telling her I still feel like I'm on cloud 9 because she has just been so amazing. So the new consultant training, Ellington goes over just every single thing, start to finish, with onboarding, book your parties. She shares her screen and goes over, all the fast track rewards, where they can set up their direct deposit, find their consultant ID, all of that stuff she goes over. So I think that is really, really important to do too. And like I said, 4 parties every single week, no matter what. And then another thing that I love to do too is in Team Full Throttle, or not I like to do, but Ellington and I, we buddied together and we made videos for our for our orgs. And so we always have that pinned up at the very top of our org pages. And the first one, and you tag all new consultants in this, so I encourage you to make your own videos just on Zoom recording. But the first video, it goes over, and it welcomes them to the team. It shows them, like their 30 and 90 date. It shows them the fast track rewards. So that's video number 1. Video number 2, it tells them how to go in and set up a party on Consultants Corner, and how to find your link, and set all that information up. And then video number 3 is actually a video of myself. I go in and I show them how to go in and set up a business Facebook page step by step. So I'm sharing my screen. I show them how to create a group through Facebook, through your business page. Then I show them how to connect it over to Visibly. Now, our org uses Visibly, but whatever posting system you have, you would use that. So we show them how to do that. I actually have the video of the old Facebook. So I do the old Facebook. Another leader in our org, she shows them how to do that from a new Facebook, because as we know, Facebook is switching over, and one day you'll be on the old and the next day you'll be on the new Facebook. So so you'll do that. And then the 4th video, it actually shows you how to go in and close out the party, and how to go in and add your prize, and then how to, how to go in and add your prizes and close out the party. Okay, someone in the chat says, Okay, yes, the Dash trainings are in there too. So I believe that is actually in video number 1 too. So whenever she's going over new consultant training, welcoming them, the Dash is in there too. Sorry, I left that out. But yes, so we do encourage Dash, and you have some people that really take off in Dash and they're self-motivated. But that's one thing too that I like to keep track of, because as leaders, you can go in and see what consultants have completed what task. So I encourage you to go in and just motivate them, saying, oh, hey, you know, you've earned this many rewards, or you're so close to finishing this training, because Dash has so many great benefits to it. And I encourage you all to dive in, have your new consultants dive in right away to do that. So that's what we do. And I think, like I said, that's been very beneficial, because onboarding new consultants can be very time consuming. It's totally worth it though, because you're setting those new consultants up for success. But doing it in a group setting, and then where you can go and tag them in those videos, and then if they have any questions, they can come back and ask at the very end. So those are my steps on onboarding new consultants. I know it probably sounds very basic. A lot of you guys are probably already doing that, but just being consistent with it. And like I said, we don't stick it, you know, only offer 1st through 3rd. I have a ton of people that are 4th, 5th, 6th gen within my team too. And that's one thing that I love to do too, is like I said, we're one big family. So whenever we promoted to a national executive director team, yes, it would have been very easy for me to just go and run my reports and put those people into the giveaway. But what I like to do for Happy Mail or anything, I go in and I have them comment on a post, or send, you know, we posted screenshots of everything, because I want every single person to have the opportunity, because we have some amazing rock stars. Well, just for instance, like with Marie, she can't see Mikela or Kori's step because they're a 4th gen to her. But so I want, you know, to see their excitement. I want them to be recognized, because they in our emails, they're not being recognized. So I want them to have the opportunity of, you know, feeling that excitement, and everyone's excited for them. So those are some of my tips for onboarding new consultants. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kori, and she's going to talk about how once we onboard them, and like I said, we're doing the 4 parties every week, is how we end up promoting them to fast track directors. So Kori?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for having us on today, and thank you, Brittany, for asking me. My name is Kori Ellis, and I am just delighted to get to know you. I'm a little bit of a hot mess today, but that's what comes from working at home, right? It's our favorite thing to do. Get to be in our PJs and not have to do the makeup. So I am actually new to Pampered Chef since mid-March, as Brittany mentioned. Over 20 years ago, I sold in home parties. I did my one little home party a week. And it's so funny here, because I got on this call and I saw our friend that has Nancy Jo Ryan's name on your thing. And are you logged in as her? Is that what it is? You're logged in on her? Okay.
Yes, Patty Moserino is Nancy Jo today. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, like I was fangirling here for a minute, like Nancy Jo Ryan used to be in the catalogs way back when I was, and I know she's still around, and like, that's so awesome. So yeah, I was a young mom back then, and stocked my kitchen with Pampered Chef, earned all my fast track rewards, but I didn't have an active organization that I was part of at all. I never recruited anyone, never went to a meeting, never talked to my upline director, didn't have anybody, and I'm very self-motivated, but I just did what I needed to do to make our family's goals at that time, which was to make a few $100s extra each month so we could make our bills. And so my kids got a little older. I went into education. I was a teacher and administrator and a teacher of teachers for 17 years. And truthfully, I just got burned out with education for a few reasons. I love to teach. It's one of my passions. It's one of my giftings. I love to lead people. But I was really tired of working so hard and not being rewarded financially. That's just the honest truth of that field. And so I decided almost 4 years ago that I was going to branch out a little bit. And so I took a position as a director of operations for a technology company. I'd worked a lot in educational technology and teaching teachers how to use technology. And so this opportunity opened up, and I've been working from home the last 4 years running this tech company. Have enjoyed it greatly. And I love the flexibility of working from home. When I went to the party Brittany was hosting, I was not looking for a new job. I was not looking to come back to Pampered Chef. I'm a 20 plus year lover of Pampered Chef products. I was looking to get new products. I hadn't been to a party in a long time. And I said to myself, this was in March, I said, well, let me just click on the banner here on her website and see what the deal is. And I was like, I talked to my husband, and he knows I'm always the deal maker. I'm always looking for some kind of a scheme to save money. And I said, hon, if I sign up here, I can get everything on my list plus a bunch more of all this new stuff. And we're empty nesters now, new grandparents. So it's like, we need all the good stuff now, now that the kids are gone. And so I said, it's $250 and I can get this. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And so I did. I told, I had those conversations that we've all had guests have with us. I had with Brittany, and I said to her, can I just buy this kit? Are there any requirements that I have to do? I mean, who's ever had that question asked, right? And so she's like, nope, if you want to earn commission, it's $150 a month and this and that, but you're welcome to do that. And so I did. And then that was the week my granddaughter was being born, right before COVID hit. I was in Orlando. I was visiting with our daughter. She was going into labor. And she had just given birth to my new granddaughter, got to be there in the room with her. It was absolutely an incredible experience. But I'm home helping her, with the new baby and all of that. And that's when I'm attending this party. And Brittany was so chill, because I'm like, I'm not in the mode to even, think about anything right now. She's like, oh, when you're ready, I just want to have a conversation with you. And so the week later, we talked, we had that little conversation. It was the first time that you had to wear a mask in the grocery store. I was in the grocery store wearing a mask with my husband when I had my little onboarding call with Brittany. And she's like, I know you were a consultant before, and I just want to remind you, we still have those fast track rewards. You told me that you had earned them before. And I'm like, yeah. Well, what she didn't know is that I'm highly motivated by carrots dangling in front of me. I just am. And there are a lot of people like me, I'm finding out. Put a carrot out there and tell me I can't get it, and boy, I'm going to get it. And so I said to my husband, after she had that little onboarding, what if I just did a couple parties? Because you know how it is. I earned them last time, and it's like so easy to get all the stuff, and it's this much more stuff, and we could use the new knife set and blah, blah, blah. And, and so he's like, hon, do whatever you want. I'm cool, whatever you want to do. And so I got started on that. And on my 3-hour drive home from Orlando down to Fort Lauderdale, after we had to leave the grandbaby, tears running down our faces, I said, okay, I'm just going to take these 3 hours and I'm going to do what Brittany said. I'm going to send out those messages. I'm going to send out those messages to all the people in my contacts. And I had 13 parties booked by the time I got home. And I'll tell you, you've listened to Brittany, you've listened to Mikela. I mean, how can a person not help but be a fast track director if we're being recruited that way, and then if we're being onboarded that way? And so all I can say is I just came out of my 90 days. Like, I just had to pay for my website 2 weeks ago. And so I'm fast track. Every single person under me is fast track. We just signed our 115th member to our team, to Team Generous, this week. And that's in these first, few months here. So I don't know what the magic potion is on how to fast track a new director, except to say, when you do all these things and you welcome them to a family and you provide a system for them to follow, that's all I've done. I've taken what has been given to me, and then I've followed after it. Now, I didn't have any intention of trying to beat Brittany's records or trying to beat Mikela's records, but I will tell you, my husband said to me, I showed him this little picture of Brittany that she had, you know, back before the FTC got all crazy and we couldn't really share things anymore, Brittany had a little picture she would post that said, you know, her first month, how much she made, and then when she promoted to director, this is what her pay, and within 6 months, how much she was making. And I showed that to my husband. I'm like, look at this, as I started to get excited. And he said to himself, he's told me later, he said, I said to myself, oh gosh, Kori's going to want to beat that record. And that's just kind of my personality. So as I did dive in, I'll tell you what Brittany did that inspired me to become a fast track director, because I was not thinking recruiting at all. I was just going to earn those fast track rewards and be done. But she said to me, wow, you have had great success in booking so many parties so quick. Do you think you could get a couple more parties booked for April? And if you can, I'd like to add you to our Rock Stars on the Rise group. She put a little incentive out there and she said, I'm just telling you, you're going to be at the levels that you need to be at to promote to director next month. And if you're willing, we have this program where as long as you have 12 to 16 parties booked for the next month, we will put you in this group and teach you how to recruit and, you know, follow the steps and see what happens. If it doesn't happen, you haven't lost anything. But if it does, you'll be a director. And I was like, okay, another little carrot dangling in front of me. And so the rest from there is history, because I did promote to director that first month in April. And then I had a rock star sign up under me that promoted right away. And so I became an advanced director in May. And then in June, a senior director. In July, we qualified for first month of executive director. And we're crossing our fingers in this, you know, rocky month of August to see if we can't make that second month of August. And, you know, it's just been a wild and crazy ride. I just resigned my full-time position as director of operations for the tech company because I am busy doing Pampered Chef and I'm loving it. When I started this team, I said to myself, what do I want my team name to be? And I landed on Team Generous, because I know that I have been gifted with certain talents and abilities and years of experience. I'm not young like Brittany and Mikela. I've got a few more years under my belt, and I have had a lot of years to learn how to be a leader. And my heart's desire, my passion, my why is truly to use the talents I've been given to impact the most people possible. And while I feel like I was able to do that in education in a grand way, and I will never regret those years and the experience and the training that I received, I feel like the door is just wide open for the number of people that I can use my skills to help now. And so my why is, can I help you start a business? Can I help you change your family tree? Can I help you to do something to start to meet and attain the goals that you never thought that you could attain for yourself? I've got moms on my team that are staying home with new babies that instead of going back to work. I've got people that lost their jobs during the pandemic and are able to make their income and double their income from what they were making before. Just all kinds of stories like that. And that's what makes me tick. That's what gets me excited. So I'm down to 2 hours a day in my day job as I'm training my replacement to run the company that I've been running the past 4 years. And from there, I'm moving forward with the sky is the limit. And my team is excited. Team Generous is dedicated and committing to achieving our dreams by generously helping others. And as we do that, and as we just continue to shine in that way, and as I follow the amazing leaders ahead of me, like Mikela and Brittany and Ellington, I just think that, you know, the best things are yet to come. And so that is, oh yes, I like the comment. Nice to see an older person fast tracking. Thank you very much for the shout out to the older girls out here. So, and yes, we, you know, at our age, we do have a benefit of resonating with people a little bit in a way that not every younger person can do. So you certainly are not too old to get started and I certainly am proof of that. And so I'm excited for what's next to come. We're paying off our house in the next 5 years. We got a plan for, you know, bigger and better things. We want to be the grandma and grandpa that have the place that the kids want to come to, right? So, so that's the goal there. But yeah, so thank you for having us on. And I think, Brittany, are we going to take some questions now? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, we're going to take some questions. I know in the chat someone had asked, what is the org name? So, and that's probably a good thing to tell too. So as, you know, Ellington is our national executive director, and then, you know, I am now a national, and then Mikela will be becoming a national, and then Kori is going to be executive. So we don't separate as of now. I don't feel the need to have a personal team page and then an org page. So starting out, whenever I became a director, Ellington encouraged us to make at first we just started our own like little group chat in Messenger, and then it grew where we needed to come up with a team, you know, a group. So we now have our own group, and so really our personal team and org is kind of all together. And then Ellington, we are part of her team, you know, org page 2, which is Team Full Throttle. So everyone, like I said, gets added there. Team Unstoppable, Team Grit, Team Generous. And so like I said before, it's a lot of groups, but they're all super beneficial. So if maybe someone sees something in one group, maybe it was posted in Team Full Throttle, but they didn't see that. So it's just a constant reminder. And we all kind of take ideas from each other. Kori posts amazing stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want that on my team page, because not everyone in my team is on her team page. So, I mean, obviously, like we like to ask.
I'm sorry, Nancy Jo, also known as Patty Moserino, made you a co-host so that you can share any screen if you want to like show them the picture that motivated Kori or anything else.
Oh, so. Okay, yeah. So I will send that. Here, let me see if I can share my screen. Let me get it pulled up first. Let's see here. This is the image, and Ellington had actually asked me to share this a few months ago. Well, whenever I was an advanced director, she asked if I would create this, so I did, and then she's had me update it every single month. So let me share my screen, and you guys can take a screenshot if you want. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the image that she was talking about, which I don't know if I can zoom in anymore.
Yes,
but.
and you know what? You can't share this in your parties anymore, but you can absolutely still share something like this with your team and with your new team members.
Yes.
Once they're on and signed, then there's no FTC regulation that says you can't be completely transparent with your team to motivate them to what's possible. And, you know, this is something that just shows what's possible in a very short amount of time. And, you know, my team is motivated by my paycheck every month.
Yeah. And I will say too, so Ellington likes, and especially like on the new consultant training, because some people look at her and they say, here, are you guys all done taking a picture? I was going to stop sharing. So Ellington, you guys, I just can't talk about her enough, because she is just seriously so amazing. I'm forever grateful for her. But you know, doing the new consultant training, some people, maybe a new consultant will look at her and say, well, she's been doing it for 13 years. No wonder why she's successful. But she likes to call out Kori or myself or Mikela or Whitney and just say, I'm going to put you on the spot. You never know who she's going to call on. So, and I'm a very shy person. So, but I'm learning to talk more. But she'll just call us out and have us share our story, because we have been in it at such a short amount of time, just showing people like anything is possible. And Kori, I'm going to call you out now. So she just celebrated her 4-month anniversary with Pampered Chef. And if you wouldn't mind sharing your first paycheck, your first, you know, full month, and then your last paycheck.
Okay, yeah. So my first month, I had one party in March. So I think my paycheck was like, I don't know, $180 or something from a launch party. And then the next month, I think I was $2,500, then $3,900. And then every month after that, I've made over $10,000. And so I just am like blown away. It was 13,000 this last month. So, you know, we just decided that we're going to keep our lifestyle the same as it is and put all of that extra money towards paying off our mortgage. And when we realized, like, that's a huge financial why for me, when we realized how big of a chunk we could put on that, And so, you know, I'm excited to be able to continue on with that. And I'll tell you a little tip. If you want your paycheck to go up, you've got to work with people on fast track promotions, because the bonuses that come from fast track promotions were $5,000 of my paycheck last month. I mean, you just got to let that set in. If you're letting that time span pass without giving people the opportunity to push a little during that first 90 days, you are leaving tons of money on the table, because when you have a director promote fast track, you get the same $500 bonus that they get. And when they promote to advanced director during their first 6 months, you get the $1,000 that they get. And so that is how those checks can go high without even, you know, your sales or your org being huge. Although we're pushing for high sales, you absolutely can make a huge difference in your paycheck by focusing time and attention on working with fast track promotions.
Kori, the question in the chat was, are you guys doing block parties, or are these all individual shows?
They're all individual shows, and we set them up the same way. And with our Visly post, we are staggering the start time so as not to anger the Facebook gods. We make sure that they're all at least starting. We'll have the same Visly template for all 8 shows or 10 shows a week, but they're all going to be staggered by 3 to 5 minutes from their start times for the whole template for the week. So
okay. Another beginner question, but everybody's going to ask, how many days are your parties?
Our parties in Team Full Throttle and our templates and our host coaching that we share with our teams start on a Friday and end on the following Saturday. So they are long parties. We like the pros of that is that there are 2 weekends, so 2 paydays for people to feel like, oh, I get paid Friday. So they get that first weekend, and many of our orders come in that first weekend as early bird or the final weekend. And it's a little quiet during the week. So we do team things and work on other things during the week. It's not as much engagement as people go to work, but the party is open all week long, and then we close it the following weekend.
Yeah. And I will also say, I don't know if Dash has it now, but Ellington and I did a breakout session for national conference for advanced directors and above. And I think that was supposed to be put on Dash. So we actually talk about, you know, the importance of, you know, how you develop fast track directors, onboarding new consultants, and a couple other things, and then just setting like your goals. But I also know that Ellington in the Director for Success, or I believe the executive director page, she put in there our new consultant onboarding. So if you guys just go and type in Ellington's name in either one of those groups, she shared it with everyone, so you can find it there. And we do, 4 parties at the minimum every single week. I will say this is my first week ever that I've only ran 1 party. And I'm okay with that. I need a little bit of a break. So this week I'm only running 1 party, but we all sell at a really high level too. You know, and plus these last few months have just been crazy. So the most I've sold was May. It was our biggest month. And I personally sold over 20,000. I think Kori did like 21,000. Mikela did like 19,000. And so we're not just doing 4 parties. A lot of times, you know, some weeks we do maybe 6, 8, 10 parties. And we always teach and preach to our team the last Friday of every single month, you need to overbook. So a lot of us will kick off, you know, the end of that month that way, because it carries over to get us set up on a strong start to make sure that everyone's green right out of the gate and not struggling at the end of the month, you know, and causing all kinds of stress. So
I'm going to put a personal message right here. There's going to be 2 months in a row that you're going to have a clean close, especially end of September, clean close, because otherwise October 1st, that free gift with purchase is going to be charged to your guests, because everybody will be on direct ship now, officially direct ship now. So
yeah,
with that disclaimer, you can repeat that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love, Marie, are you on direct ship now?
Yes, I am.
I love it. And I'm glad I never have to go back. So I absolutely love the direct ship now. and I'm excited for everyone to carry over. Actually, this is just my competitive self, because, you know, for Direct Ship Now, you know, the first of every month, everyone starts back to zero. So now everyone's going to start to zero and everyone starts at the same. So, but that's still good though, because even if, like, you know, in August 28th is our last Friday. So you may have a few orders, you know, that come in, but the big bulk of them come in at the end of the party. So that will be really nice. And, you know, you asked, you know, Visibly versus Post My Party. I know Kori kind of answered that in the group, but Visibly template is just something that Ellington provides for her organization. So that's just what everyone is trained on. So yeah.
Marie, there's a question about a clean, oh, sorry about that. About a clean
I see a post up there, or a question asking for assistance. I just hired an assistant. Has she started yet? No, I've needed one for a while, but I've just pushed through. So she actually starts this Friday, praise the Lord. So I'm excited for her to start.
And what is she going to do? What is she doing, Brittany?
She is going to do my team recognition. She's going to create Canva post for me. And then she will go in and set up all of my parties and create my groups on Facebook and through Consultants Corner. So I will still run the parties. There's still plenty for me to do. It's just a lot of that. It's a lot of hours where I could be investing back into my team. Don't get me wrong, I'm still there for my team. I usually don't go to bed until 2 a.m. almost every night. So, because I just, you know, we have team members that are in Hawaii too, that are part of Mikela's org. And I just want to try to be available to everyone, because we're just like one big family. Kori probably, thank goodness she sleeps with her phone on silent or do not disturb, because I was like messaging her like at 1 a.m. her time last night.
Great.
And I will say, you guys, if you have, you know, young kids that are, you know, even teenagers, whatever, utilize them, because that's, you know, something that I wish I had. You know, I wish I had a teenager that could just send remind, you know, for us in the parties. But I just hired my first assistant, and she's a teenager, and she loves it, and she's super smart. They're spunky. They, you know, they need the money, so you don't have to like pay them a lot. You know, like, and I pay her $13.50, and she does an amazing job. And she's doing my parties right now, just creating them, and even just that is huge. Like, it takes such a load off, you know, for me to not have to worry that, you know, I have to sit down and not that it takes long, but it does take a huge load off, and I can spend that time doing other things. And she does work on customer care stuff, because that's something that is super important that I wasn't doing in the beginning, because I built so fast. So customer care is one of the most important things, you know, for our businesses, as you guys know. But that's something that she's doing for me. She's sending all the postcards, and I put a season's best in them for the host. And I've seen a huge turnaround from that. So
I will say about an assistant, I don't have one yet. I would entertain the thought of getting one, but you do not want your assistant to do anything that requires your personality. They cannot replace you. So you want to think about the things that, if you're to the level where you're considering hiring an assistant, think about those rote things that you have to do over and over and over again, whether it's setting up the party groups or doing the mailing things like Mikela was talking about, or, you know, some of the organizational stuff that we do, just to keep things running. But you do not want to remove yourself from the picture of engaging with your guests and engaging with your recruits and your hosts. And I mean, those are things that you, in my opinion, you have to fit into your day, because you're the one who made the business what it is. You're the personality that people want to see. And so you don't want to remove that from the equation, or there's that chance that your business loses its zing, so to speak, because it's lost you. It's lost the essence of you. So keep that in mind when you're looking, you know, have somebody do the laundry, have somebody do other things that need to be done that take your time, so that you're not losing the ability to still be present with your business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one thing that saves us a lot of time too is, I know we all use voice, like texting, like clips, especially through Facebook Messenger. That way your, you know, potential host or your potential recruit or one of your rock stars can hear the excitement. So I actually just sent one this morning while I was walking on the treadmill at the gym. you know, I sent just a voice clip to her because she used to be a consultant years ago and she's been interested in maybe getting back into the business. So I've just been following up with her and stuff, and she reached out saying how much she appreciated that because she could hear my voice and it wasn't just like a cut and dry, like copy and paste. So like it goes back to being creative, being authentic, building those relationships, but let them hear the excitement in your voice. How we do that is just through Facebook Messenger. So if you've already been messaging them, I don't think you can do it from your business page, but from your personal, it just has a little microphone, and click on the little microphone and just start talking away. So, and then you just hit send. Yeah. Is there any other questions, or Marie, did you have any questions?
No, this is the opportunity. All of you who are here in our live presentation have an opportunity right now to ask Brittany, Kori, or Mikela any questions that you want. So you can use chat, or you can unmute yourself and comment. I know, Eileen, you've had a couple comments, and did you have a question, or?
Well, Cora said that she's done voice clip, but can you record it anyway to send multiple ones? No, I don't think you can, but see, that's what I love about, you know, being authentic, because my recording, trying to build that relationship and connect with Mikela, is going to be totally different with Kori. I want it to be personalized to them. So I will just say like, hey, Mikela, you know, personalize it, say their name a few times. That's what I do. Like I said, I don't want like a pre-recorded, kind of like a video. I do videos daily and post them in my parties with one of my favorite products. So, I mean, that's the same video, and my welcome video is the same. It's pre-recorded, but the voice clips, I don't want to be pre-recorded because it's going to be different depending on what they send back. So, Marie, someone said, can you explain what you mean by clean clothes, please?
Okay, because everybody's transitioning to direct ship. Doreen Grass in our pilot program said, or whatever, we really need a clean close at the end of September. It is going to be vital because of direct ship now starting October 1st. So what will happen, Pampered Chef's got some systems in mind to see if there's any September shows that are still open. But let's say you had a September show, the next day, October 1st, that September show that did not close out, that free gift with purchase is now going to be charged to that guest. Direct ship is direct ship, and it goes by the date. So there are going to be some issues. So just put your big girl pants on and just know that for September, you need to close September. So I think that's
September 25th is the party date that we would start on Friday, the 25th, and it would typically not end until October 3rd. But you're saying if you're starting a party on the 25th or sometime around then, it needs to close by the 30th.
Cora or somebody else who's on direct ship now who is part of that pilot, I think you know what I'm talking about. Is there anybody else that knows?
I am.
Okay, Charisse, can you?
So what happens if your party is open, September party is open, and if their guest has already added whatever the September guest special is, October 1st, the computer will automatically convert that guest special to one of their regular purchases. They still can add, you know, so what you would have to go in and do is now contact the customer, explain that the free gift has changed. So you have to delete the old free gift, then add the new free gift. The shipping charges all convert to October shipping charges, which means your customer could be paying more if their order was under $100. They would be paying a direct ship of $725 in September. Come October 1st, it's $795. Flip side, if the order's over $150, they'll get free shipping. But that's, you know, you want to make sure it's going to be very hard to go back to every customer, every order that placed their order before September 30th. They will just set, if you're gonna have a party September 25th, I would say it's an October 1st start date. And that way you're just gonna tell them all, here's, even though it'll look different, in September, let them know these are the shipping charges. This is your free gift. When I close the party in October, this is what it's going to convert to. Does that make sense? I hope that helped.
Thank you, Sharice. You said it much more understandably than I did. I just know that if you don't want to have a mess, close your September clean and start your shows October 1st. So
I had a whole schedule. My show schedule was already full. That I do the same thing. I start Friday, and I opened up a week that I don't usually work parties in October, so that I could, and I'm doubling up in September so that I could move them off that week because I don't want to deal with it. I just decided I didn't want to deal with it. I'd rather do 10 parties in September and add an extra week to my schedule in October than deal with trying to explain that all to each customer because they'll get so confused.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Good clarification. Thanks, Sharice.
Someone asked if the new consultant trainings are a series of calls or if it's the same thing. So it's the same information twice a week. It's just she offers one during the week and then one on the weekends. That way, some people that may work in the evenings during the weekday or may not be able to join, they can join on the weekend. So they're not ever set scheduled times. I mean, she lets people know a few days in advance because her schedule, is different too, depending on what calls and everything she has. And then as far as what is shared on the new consultant training, it's just, I believe it actually may even be in the document. Kori, do you know if everything's in that document that she shared on the Director for Success group?
Yes. Yeah. The new consultant calls are in there. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's one call.
It's
right?
one on.
Is that what you're saying? It's one call.
Yes.
So we need to search Director Success for the document that
Search for Ellington and you'll see it. It's
Isn't that the full throttle? Isn't that her new consultant training in Evernote? Is that the one?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might have that, Marie. Okay. All right. And then is there follow-up after that? Is there a follow-up call?
No follow-up. I mean, and you have some new consultants that will join 2 to 3 calls just because something that they may have heard, they can hear it again. So they can join as much as they want. I know someone that's in our org, Melissa Hill, she's on every single call. So whenever she first signed up, I think she was on every single call the month that she joined. And didn't she join in March? Did she join in March? Yeah. So that's when Ellington was sometimes doing them 3 times a week because our org just blew up. And yeah, so they can join as much as they want. I try to get on every single one. That way I can just show my support, for the new consultants and, for Ellington too. So.
And you everybody sends their new consultants there.
Yes.
Everybody. Okay. So she does definitely.
We posted, somebody in the chat just posted the link to the Evernote for it. So thank you, Jen, who posted that.
Yeah. I think we might already.
I want to make a public service announcement about PCTeamTraining.com, password 2020vision with the capital V. Patty and a couple of us were having a conversation, and I don't know if you're aware, but Facebook plays by Facebook rules. And so we've kind of made a little decision that anything that is valuable, we kind of want to put on our website so that it will be there forever until we personally delete it. At any moment in time, Zuckerberg can change the rules. We're in his sandbox. We got to play by his rules. So many of us have training in our Facebook groups because that's where our team communicates. So we have just recently talked and said, no, we want to recommit to the web-based PC team training just in case something funky happens. But it is a collaborative effort. Patty does the brunt of the work. So you guys all should just send her a thank you note because it's Patty's work, sweat, and tears that goes into getting everything posted, but it's only as good as all of you. contribute to it. So we made a decision among the smaller group of us, and we had like a come to Jesus moment, and we just said, are we okay with sharing information? Are we okay with encouraging other people? And if we create some great training, is it okay to share? And so everybody, Lisa Ford, there were a bunch of us that have been trying to do this level up program and new consultant training and trying to do things together. We just said, yeah, heck yeah. You know what goes around comes around. We want to live by the golden rules. So, but you may go on PC team training and find something that is ancient history that we need to delete, or you might say you're really missing a piece. We want you to know that it's really for all of us, and it's only as good as all of us. So Patty's got a function. Patty, I'll let you speak more to that about if they have something they want to add, or if they see something that needs to be deleted, what should they do?
Well, they should immediately email me or message me if there definitely is, because I just do not have the time to go back and delete some of the old and ancient stuff. So when you are searching, and there's a great search feature on there, so you can pretty much search for a person's name, subject, and you can come up with all sorts of resources. But if there is something that is old and you do notice it, if you just want to message me or email me, that would be great. There is some contact information up there that you can always do. And if you have some new training and new things that you would love to share with, all of everyone else, I love that we can share that. Please feel free. Again, just email me or message me on Facebook, and I'm happy to get those up and running. And we thank you all so much. Maria's right. We could run the training, but without all of you and the training to put in there, it's only as good as, what we can, the training that we can offer. So thank you guys so much. So we really appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Marie, can I say something really quick?
Sure.
So Nancy Joe posted that in the comments, and Kori is fangirling. So Kori, yes, that was really Nancy Joe posting it.
Yeah, Nancy Joe today is Nancy Joe Ryan, I think, right? Is she? No, where is she in there? I forgot. We lost her. Nancy Joe Ryan, 20
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. That is really Nancy Joe. I am just the fake Nancy Joe. Or the AKA stand-in. I am the stand-in AKA. I am the stand-in Nancy Joe Ryan.
Yeah, and as you know, Nancy Joe probably for the next couple of weeks will be incognito, but on these calls, but incognito and laying low. She had a successful medical procedure and is recovering, and her doctor said, rest and relax. And so we're making her follow doctor's orders. So
yes,
but we're glad she is following orders.
Yes,
so.
She needs
well,
to.
Marie, thank you so much again for allowing us to be your spotlight speakers. It's an honor that you ask. I know that it's out of my comfort zone, but I'll never get out of my comfort zone if I don't do these things, right? So.
Oh, well, Brittany, you're going to live an extended. You're going to have some extended impact because this is going to go up on the training site. Yeah. And don't be surprised if you guys become a real popular.
I'm sure they will.
Video that people will watch. So you have impacted. Kori, congratulations. It is amazing. And I think I will ditto somebody else saying it is very heartwarming. Your story about coming from starting with Pampered Chef, going into education, moving up the ranks, and coming back to Pampered Chef in a much different, bigger way is outstanding. And I also want to just say for everybody else here, you do not get to compare yourself to anyone else. The only person you are ever allowed to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. You are not in competition with anyone else, and you are on your own journey. You are taking your own pace. You are deciding what's right for you and your family, And so do not feel overwhelmed by these rocket star people. I told you you had to strap on your safety belt to listen to them. And if you want to do what they did and you're willing to work and do what they did, you know, we're going to give you a bunch of applause. But if you decide to do a different pace based on whatever situation you have, that's okay too. Everybody is a valued member of our organization, and we're grateful that you're here. We do not want anybody to feel intimidated by Brittany and Mikela and Kori. We want to be inspired by them. So
we have a request from Nancy Joe because we're looking for our next spotlight speaker. So if anybody would like to volunteer, if you're having some really good success with something, I know we had a request for Google Slides. If there is anybody for some a little bit of Google technology, that would be awesome. Unless we have something, this was all great. Who would that?
Can I just? Somebody had mentioned sending reminders in your Facebook groups, and I think it was Grace Bott's husband saw something. It was a Chrome extension that you can, go to the Chrome store, download it. It's the one, I think if you just put in the search, it says reminders, and it looks like a bell with an exclamation point in it, but it will send all of the reminders in your Facebook parties without you having to do the 3 dots and the yes and the, so if anybody's looking for an easier way to go about doing that.
Kim, it's in the Director Success. Just search Grace Bot and reminders.
Yeah.
Ryan put it in Director Success back in, I want to say back in March, because it was after our spring kickoff.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And I will say, guys, that's another great reason to get an office assistant. They will find out ways to streamline your business. He had hoped that he was going to have to send like 900 reminders to. He got creative very quickly, so he did not have to like spend his whole day remind. They will totally get like creative for you. So guys, like seriously, I really recommend it. Even if it's a virtual or somebody else in your house, a teenager or whatever. Yeah.
A lifesaver. Thank you so much.
Definite lifesaver.
Definitely.
Patty, we should probably stop recording and then go off the record.
Okay.